Dear listeners, welcome to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the annals of time, unraveling the mysteries of the past, and shedding light upon the triumphs and tribulations of human civilization. Today, we find ourselves at the banks of the Marne River, in the verdant heart of France, where one of the most pivotal battles of the Great War was fought. The Battle of the Marne, a clash of titans that would change the course of history, is our topic for today's exploration. As we delve into the earliest history of this seminal event, let us first set the stage. It is the summer of 1914, and the world is ablaze with conflict. The great powers of Europe, once bound by intricate alliances and treaties, now find themselves at odds, their armies mobilized, and their people bracing for the worst. On June 28, 1914, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo sparked a chain reaction of events that would ultimately lead to the outbreak of war. As we explore the complex web of alliances and rivalries that led to the Battle of the Marne, we find ourselves drawn into a world of diplomatic intrigue and strategic calculations. The German Empire, under the leadership of Kaiser Wilhelm II, had been expanding its military capabilities and seeking to challenge the dominance of the British Empire. The French Third Republic, still reeling from the loss of Alsace-Lorraine in the Franco-Prussian War, was determined to defend its territory at all costs. On August 1, 1914, Germany declared war on Russia, and 2 days later, it declared war on France. The German army, with its highly disciplined troops and advanced artillery, began a rapid advance through neutral Belgium, intent on capturing Paris and forcing a French surrender. However, the plan was based on a flawed assumption that the French army would be quickly defeated, and that Britain would not intervene in time to make a difference. The British Expeditionary Force, led by General John French, was beginning to arrive on the scene, bringing with it a much-needed infusion of troops and supplies. On August 4, 1914, Britain declared war on Germany, following Germany's invasion of Belgium, which was guaranteed by Britain under the Treaty of London. As we examine the earliest history of the Battle of the Marne, we see the great powers of Europe navigating a treacherous landscape of diplomacy and war. The French army, led by General Joseph Joffre, was mobilizing its forces to defend against the German advance. The Germans, with their highly efficient military machine, seemed almost invincible. But the French were determined to hold their ground, and the British were beginning to make their presence felt on the battlefield. The stage was thus set for a clash of titans, as the great powers of Europe collided in a maelstrom of steel and fire. The Battle of the Marne would be a turning point in the war, a moment when the course of history would be forever altered. The curtain is about to rise on the main event, the pivotal moment when the fate of nations was forged in the fire of conflict, and the Battle of the Marne reached its climax. Join me next as we delve into the heart of the battle, where the armies of Europe clashed in a frenzy of blood and steel. Dear listeners, welcome back to History with Herodotus. As we continue our exploration of the Battle of the Marne, one of the most pivotal battles of the Great War. As the German army advanced through France, it seemed almost invincible, with its highly disciplined troops and advanced artillery. However, the French army, led by General Joseph Joffre, was determined to hold its ground, and the British Expeditionary Force, led by General John French, was beginning to make its presence felt on the battlefield. On September 5, 1914, the French army launched a counterattack against the German forces, marking the beginning of the Battle of the Marne. The battle raged on for several days, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The Germans had expected a quick victory, but they were met with fierce resistance from the French and British troops. As General Joffre would later say, the fate of France was decided at the Marne. The bravery and determination of the Allied forces were exemplified by the heroic actions of soldiers like Lieutenant Charles de Gaulle, who would later become a legendary leader in his own right. One of the most significant factors that contributed to the Allied victory was the use of taxis to transport troops to the front lines. On September 7, 1914, General Gallieni, military governor of Paris, commandeered a fleet of taxis to rush reinforcements to the battlefield. This unorthodox tactic allowed the French army to rapidly mobilize its troops and launch a surprise counterattack against the German forces. As the battle reached its climax, the Germans were forced to retreat, marking a significant turning point in the war. The Battle of the Marne was a decisive victory for the Allies, with over 250,000 casualties on both sides. It marked the end of the German advance and the beginning of a long and bloody stalemate on the Western Front. The significance of the Battle of the Marne cannot be overstated. As historian Barbara Tuchman wrote, "The Battle of the Marne was the decisive battle of the war, for it stopped the German advance and saved Paris. The bravery and sacrifice of the soldiers who fought in this battle will always be remembered as a testament to the human spirit's capacity for courage and resilience." As we conclude our examination of the Battle of the Marne at its climax, we find ourselves poised on the threshold of a new era, an era of trench warfare, of machine guns, and of unimaginable slaughter. The war would drag on for another 4 years, claiming millions of lives and leaving deep scars on the world. Join me next as we explore the aftermath of the Battle of the Marne and the lasting legacy of this pivotal moment in history. Dear listeners, welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we explore the aftermath of the Battle of the Marne and its lasting legacy. The battle marked a significant turning point in the war, as the German advance was halted and the Allies gained a crucial victory. However, the war would drag on for another 4 years, claiming millions of lives and leaving deep scars on the world. In the immediate aftermath of the Battle of the Marne, both sides dug in, marking the beginning of the trench warfare that would characterize the Western Front for the next 4 years. The trenches stretched from the North Sea to the Swiss border, a sprawling network of muddy ditches, barbed wire, and machine gun nests. As historian John Keegan wrote, "The Battle of the Marne was the last battle of the Old World, and the first battle of the New." The stalemate on the Western Front had significant consequences for the war effort. Both sides suffered heavy casualties, with over 1 million soldiers killed or wounded in the first year of the war alone. The introduction of new technologies, such as poison gas, tanks, and aircraft, failed to break the deadlock, and the war became a war of attrition, with each side trying to wear down the other through sheer numbers. The Battle of the Marne also had significant consequences for the home front. As the war dragged on, governments began to mobilize their entire societies for the war effort. In France, for example, women took on new roles in the workforce, replacing men who had gone off to fight. The war also saw the introduction of rationing, censorship, and other forms of government control. The legacy of the Battle of the Marne can be seen in the Treaty of Versailles, which imposed harsh penalties on Germany and contributed to the rise of Nazi Germany in the 1930s. The battle also marked a turning point in the history of warfare, as traditional notions of chivalry and honor gave way to the brutal realities of modern combat. Today, the Battle of the Marne is remembered as a pivotal moment in world history, a testament to the bravery and sacrifice of the soldiers who fought and died on the battlefields of France. As we reflect on the aftermath of this epic battle, we are reminded of the devastating consequences of war and the importance of working towards peace and understanding. And so, dear listeners, as we conclude our exploration of the Battle of the Marne, we find ourselves reflecting on the enduring legacy of this pivotal moment in history. The bravery, sacrifice, and resilience of the soldiers who fought in this battle will always be remembered, and their story continues to inspire and educate us today. Join me next time on History with Herodotus as we explore more fascinating stories from the past. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.